Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hitting the record button. How are you? How are you this morning? It is, I believe, Thursday morning. Let me check. It's Friday morning. We've missed a day. Lost a day in my life and don't even remember it. So that's great. Ugh. Friday morning, 9 o'clock, our 67th consecutive live stream. Yeah, it feels good. Things are going well. Things don't look like they're going well at all. I mean, like I can't point to my revenues being up because of YouTube. I can't point to more leads. I can't point to anything. But the live stream is great. The Realty Live excuse me. The Realty live stream has been a godsend. How do I put it? So originally, I don't know. How do I say this? So, have you ever been on a Zoom call? I suspect 90% of you have. You know, part of my concern with my Realtystream when I started it was going to be this idea that I was just forcing people to be on a Zoom call. That we were going to talk about information that's just terrible, like not enjoyable. And there's going to be these weird business dynamics in place, business organization dynamics. So like I'm the supervisor and I get to talk. And if one of my subordinates dares to correct me or speak out of turn, then I can mute their microphone or I can say something and then they can feel shame or it's hard to gun for somebody else's job when you're on a Zoom call. I mean, how do you do that? So I was worried. I didn't want it to be, the structure has to be different. It has to be a give and take. Like, so the time I spend with the chat, like that is different here than it is in a Zoom call. And part of the reason why is because there's no one in chat. We got to do better. We got to do better on the chat because the interaction just isn't there right now. Now, I can't really yell and scream at all of you for watching because you watch later. And again, it's 9 o'clock on a Friday morning. I get it. You guys are busy working. You're on your Zoom calls. So anyway, it's good. It sets the morning. It sets the tone. If I can be on live stream for an hour in the morning, the day's good. We got out there. I mean, the rest of the day should follow. Now, let's talk about St. Louis right now and the weather because I feel like you deserve a weather update. The snowstorm hit us pretty good yesterday. And I went to shovel snow around 4 o'clock. I have a shovel, but it's a snow pusher. But I was out there and the cars were, covered. I think there was at least 10 inches of snow out there. I'm not trying to be dramatic. It was a lot. I have my snowblower, but when there's so much snow, it's like it's hard to put it places. Like you can blow it all over the place. But anyway, I started with half of my driveway because there's cars everywhere. Well, actually, I started by turning on all the cars because if I could get the windshields clean and stuff, I could move them. Moved all the cars. Went to the neighbor's house and did her drive. Went down the street and did that neighbor's drive. That neighbor's drive I didn't do very well because my snowblower got stuck. There was so much snow in one spot, and it was getting late. It was dark. I went back to my house and finished up and put out some salt for this morning so that there was no ice and people got injured. The snowblower I have I like because it goes all the way to the ground. If you don't drive over, if you don't drive over the snow. And so that's helpful because, the ground typically will melt whatever snows, that little amount that's left. And so it didn't do it last night because it was getting really, really cold, but the sunlight today should take care of everything. Now, I'm not heading out today either. The street department did fascinating things this time. I don't know about the main streets because I'm not close to one right now, but in our neighborhood, it didn't plow, which I kind of appreciate because there was so much snow. If they would have plowed, it would have taken me forever to dig out of it. But they did go over the streets and it kind of packed down the snow. And they put out salt. So last night I had to actually go into the street quite a bit and use the snowblower because the daughter's car was not going to make it. And then the other two cars I drove around the neighborhood just to see, what the streets were looking like, and the streets were terrible. Like terrible. So they're better this morning, but not good enough to go out today. It's tough for someone like myself to stay in the house for 3 days. I'm going crazy. It's not what I'm used to. We have enough food and everything, but it's just and I could leave, but the drive would be so, white knuckle and scary. I don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. So we'll be home today. Got it. Like I said, I got enough food. I don't know what we're doing for dinner, but I got lunch set, so I'm in good shape. Work-wise, you always think that when you're home that you're going to get to be, how do I say it? You're going to be able to catch up on things. Unfortunately, what I've found this time is the projects that I'm working on are so nebulous. Like, let's say I'm trying to do something new with marketing. So I don't really have a good plan. And so I'm trying to put together a plan and then I test the plan and then it doesn't go very well. And so, the 2 hours extra I get per day because I'm home and no one's calling because of the snow is getting taken up by these random tasks that are, silly. I don't know how to change that because you always got to be, with my business, you just have to keep pushing all the time. If you get knocked back, keep going. So, I don't know. I mean, today I have, plenty of work, basically. So, anyway, I got the drives done, and I felt pretty good. I went and took a shower, and my wife made a wonderful dinner last night. So, I mean, it's real hard to complain about that life. I mean, real hard. So I won't. But man, I woke up this morning, and they would call it your core. Oh my gosh, it's not my back. I'm thankful it's not my back. But boy, if I have to get up out of a chair or something, boy, I feel it. So, what can you do? That's one of the things about getting old that I've just never gotten over. It's like the feeling of just this. And then I think Tom Brady's my age or real close. And when I was, I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but I was watching this guy and I was getting to the point where I felt like, how is he doing this? And he said, well, he's got a great offensive line and everything's good. But man, that's I mean, to train and, to physically go out there at that age and try to perform. Gosh. Anyway, let's get into some things here. I got my list. Had a weird setup for today. I'm kind of distracted by the snow. Wanted to get into this article. I did a podcast episode on it yesterday. So, go see that. Go take a look at that if you want. But I'm gonna try and go over it not a different way, but try to highlight some things in the article that I thought were interesting again today. So let me pull it up for you. This came out of Curbed magazine, and it says, "What do all the brokers headed to Ryan Serhant's firm want?" Now, I was going to do this as part of the live stream yesterday. It was such a good piece of subject matter that I thought I could maybe make a podcast episode out of it. Maybe that would be a better way to serve the content than the live stream, and I stick by that. Will I get a lot of views on the way I did it? Probably not. The title isn't provocative enough for YouTube. It's not clickbaity enough, which is okay. It's the medium that we're in. But let's take a look at it. I'm going to go over there right now. It says, "What do all the brokers headed to Ryan Serhant's firm want?" And let's just go. It says, in September 2020, Ryan Serhant, the Nest Seekers broker, who became famous on $1 Million Listing, launched Sarhant, his eponymous brokerage. At the time, it seemed pretty anomalous. Manhattan's luxury market was in a COVID slump. Personality-driven independent brokerages had become rare in New York's high-end market, giving way to the likes of Compass. And many doubted that agents with their own name recognition would want to be eclipsed and share their commissions with a TV personality and social media star. And so it says, yet the firm has poached a lot of agents in its 16 months of existence. It signed 30 new agents this month alone, including last week, 2 Compass teams, bringing its agent count to 104. Another 20 are expected to join within the next month. So what exactly do agents going over to Sarhant want? This paragraph to start was a very well done paragraph because it evokes curiosity. But I want to take it apart almost line by line. First of all, personality-driven independent brokerages had become rare in New York's high-end market. And when you think about New York, I mean, I'm from the Midwest. When you think about New York, you do think about attitude. You think about, the New Yorker. Now, are those people still around? I don't know. I know the world has turned into a very strange place to me. But attitude, personality, let's just say, like, personality can turn people off. Andrew Dice Clay, okay, the comedian, had a personality that turned many off. That's my most extreme example. Sarhant's not like that, but he does have something. He does have this. There's something about him, okay, and he's able to get that captured on film, media, and in a way that's good. As I started my brokerage, I started it, pushing the brand Deerwood Realty. And the reason why is because maybe I didn't want my personality to come out in the marketing. But, it ended up coming out because no one can really relate to Deerwood Realty. There's not a million people out there. When they think Deerwood Realty, they don't have any sort of preconceived notions about anything other than a deer, like the animal. So I did have to get out a little more, and I do have to do more. And we are moving in that direction. It's easy to say, like, some of the things that he's doing, I would definitely do in my brokerage. However, if you were to get like the cash flow to put together the group that he put together is more than I can do. I mean, I'm self-financing this deal, and I don't have $1 million listings. I serve the people that are my friends, families. These are my people, and we're not millionaires for the most part. So he's playing in a different pool than I am. But don't think for a second I haven't been paying attention to the way he's doing it. And should things ever break the way they should, not saying I'm going to be him by any stretch of the imagination, but I see things that can be incorporated in any brokerage. But with that personality, it's infectious. And from the outside, I think it would be hard to understand. It would be hard to understand it the way I do, as far as like what he's doing. But I understand it quite well. I know exactly what he's doing here. And when it says, like, let me put it out here like this. He is not the biggest player in the marketplace. He is fighting with established people with decades of experience and quite a bit of legacy, branding, or money behind them. And he's able to overcome that with his personality. And so what other weapons would he have had? How could he have gotten where he did without some sort of magnet to draw people to him? It wasn't going to work any other way. If Ryan Sarhant starts Deerwood Realty and tries to push Deerwood Realty and not Ryan Sarhant, it's not going to work. So, that being said, the next line, it says, and many doubted that agents with their own name recognition would want to be eclipsed and share their commissions with a TV personality and social media star. Now, this to me, who would have been these people that doubted that? Real estate agents want to be noticed. If you can get people to notice you, you can sell houses to them. You can have buyers. You can attract buyers and sellers versus trying to hunt for them. So there's no no successful agent that I can think of that would be intimidated by someone else's success to the point where they wouldn't want to work with them. Now, what happens in St. Louis, and I don't know if it happens anywhere else, is I've looked at the brokerage rosters for most of the organizations in St. Louis, and what you'll find is you'll find one agent or group of agents like in that same team dominate the office. And then you'll have 2 or 3 high performers. And then the rest of the people are average. And then there's even some just terrible. And this is true in every office. It's very unusual that you'll see 2 or 3 teams just staying at the same office. Now, I don't know the reason for that. I don't know why that happens, but that just seems to be what happens. As an agent, you can sell real estate anywhere, okay? And if you're a good agent, you don't need the brokerage behind you. You don't need it, okay? You need them to stay out of your way. Very few brokerages can bring anything to the table to help you if you're a good agent, because you know more than anybody that's working at the brokerage. I mean, you're doing deals left and right, and the office manager is sitting there just you know, trying to teach these people that aren't doing deals left and right what to do, and he doesn't even know what he's doing, or she doesn't know what they're doing. So agents would not be frightened to kind of follow the light. In fact, they would want to follow the light. That would not bother them at all. So the question then becomes, what do agents going over to Sarhant want? They really almost answered the question in the first paragraph. They want a sense of celebrity. They want a sense of a branding that is unique, individual, and what I would say is powerful. They want to be associated with that brand. Let me check the chat. Oh, no one's there. Okay. It says, in the next paragraph, the inside baseball is people who go to Sarhant want to be famous. Said it, someone who works in the industry. Is this article a plant for Sarhant? Maybe. But even if it is, this is well done. Because, I mean, basically it's a billboard for Sarhant. So he got good press or he made good press, but either way, it was again on point. I'm in St. Louis and I'm talking about it. I can only imagine how many people are talking about it in New York City. So people who go to Sarhant want to be famous. Okay, so what does that mean? It says they have side hustles or passions that work well with Ryan's. Clearly, a chance at the spotlight has been a factor in bringing some new agents over. For example, the Bogarts, a husband and wife with a team of 6, who came over from Compass this month, said they plan to launch an internet show. So I have my live stream. Is that to be famous? Not really. It's more to just help people know who I am, as far as if they want to work with me and want to get a sense of that before we start working together. It says any agent is able to pitch and pilot a show concept for the listed network, according to the firm, and consumer demand and viewership dictates which shows get picked up each season. The firm isn't coy about this aspect of its appeal. The website, in lieu of posting headshots, displays videos of agents posing and mugging as flashbulbs go off. So, yes, it does. And there's a lot of video on his site, and he's using it well. Then it goes to this. It says, it touts a focus on personal brand development, a content to commerce business model, and perhaps most significantly, a studio division with an in-house film team and production team. It says the film and creative team has 21 full-time staffers. Now, how do I say this? You can be the best agent in the world, and if no one knows you exist, what difference does it make? And I really want to take a shot at. We're going to go down in the article. This here, I don't really think. I don't really think that. How do I say this? The rest of the paragraph isn't enough. So let's get to this next part. There's a quote in here that I want to go to. It says, there's also the question of whether the time, effort, and money involved in building a social media following with high quality content is the most sensible way to sell luxury real estate. And I've worked on this for a while. I've thought about this for a while now. I mean, overnight. At least in St. Louis, okay? Here's how this goes. Here's the alternative to the social media aspect. The alternative is this. You'll walk up to a guy or girl and they'll say, "My father owned such and such factory." And say, okay, so say that my father was a Klingon. Not the animal, but like that was their last name. Not the animal, not the Star Trekker. And we Klingons have always done business with I don't know, the Popeyes. And do you know the Popeyes? That's what they'll ask the agent. Do you know the Popeyes? And then if you say, no, I've never heard of them, well, you're not part of their circle. So you get excluded. But if you say you do know the Popeyes, yeah, I'm friends with Jerry Popeye. Oh, yeah, Jerry. Jerry owns this thing. And oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a game. That's a game being played. And St. Louis is very small towny like that in the upper ends. Oh, I went to school with so and so. Oh, you did? Yeah, they were not anything like they are now. Okay. And I have hated this game, and I don't play it. And does it hurt me in the high end listings? Probably, but it's okay. It's okay. The only other way to break into that market, okay? The only other way is to do what Sarhant does. Sarhant. I've got a bit of an accent from where I live, but it's if you take yourself and you brand yourself as something, then people can't play the game of do you know so and so and so and so, because it's like, do they know you? Do they know you? So you become that person that everyone wants to know. Very, 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 very devastating marketing when you're up against what we would call the old money in St. Louis. So they're doing it right. But that comes at a cost. And I wanted to express that in some sort of way. And this is how I'll go with it. If you're going to have commission compression, that's a fancy way of saying if commissions are going to continue to be driven down, then you can't, as a brokerage, produce the media and the creativity that you would need for a brokerage like this. This model only works if you have enough money to get it going, and then only if you you're in a place where you can continue to get listings that pay better than most. Okay, so in the article, it says, how much all this slick content costs to produce is another issue. Marketing expenses are borne by the agents at most firms. Sarhant says that it covers the cost of guided tours for properties listed at $10 million and up. Okay. Well, there's a $20 million house in St. Louis, but it's out in Wentzville, and we'll have to go over that sometime. But there's really nothing in St. Louis that you could consistently, as a brokerage, provide to your peeps, your agents, that could be in this stratosphere. And let me just explain. In my own brokerage, I've always thought video is powerful, especially videos of listings. And I have professional videos done of all of my listings. And it's kind of dumb sometimes because by the time I pay the videographers and stuff like that, I'm out. Like I'm not going to make any money on the brokerage side. But I do it because I feel like that's the best way to get people's houses exposure in 2021, or even before we started doing this. The videos we started doing 3 years ago, maybe. So we don't get that markup. We don't get those listings where we can have any money for production like that. So how do I put it? So this model that is great only works for this space that he's in. I mean, you can do it pretty much like anywhere. You could do it in California. You could do it in Florida. You have to do it where there's some homes that are just, fantastic. And I don't think I can swing it. Plus, my personality isn't such. I don't have that look. I mean, he's got hair. He's got nice suits. I don't know. Looks like he keeps in shape. I'm not that guy. I'm kind of short. I'm bald. And I have nice suits, but they're more conservative and they're not like that. So I'm not going to sit there and peck at Sarhant. I think that people should recognize the effort that he's putting into this and the risks and the and praise the success. This is someone going against a big industry, not going against it, but competing in it and winning. So there's a last set in here. It says, it's clear that many brokers are looking, if not for their star turn, then for help producing the kind of professional quality, more than perfunctory social media and video content that is increasingly expected of agents in a post-pandemic world. And that's true. It's true. And so I'll just a few more things on this. One, I had a house that was an investor house. Went for $65,000. Okay. No amount of Instagram postings was going to get that house out there. It's nothing I was going to be able to do. So, I mean, if you know that to be the case, it's going to be really hard to use a social media platform for you to do business in a way that doesn't have these extraordinary homes and doesn't have this extraordinary lifestyle. I encourage you to go to see Sarhant's his own channel on YouTube, or just some of the videos they're producing for Sarhant for the listing videos. They're the number one. They're the best. And how do I say it? It's just better. It's just better than what anybody else is doing. But it takes a product. It takes a listing that gets that better. There was nothing I was going to do with that property. That was the investor property. There's nothing I could have done. I oftentimes will list homes that are terrible looking inside. I mean, they're dated and they're just awful. There's no amount of polish that I can put on that that's going to get it any sort of buzz. But anyway, if you were a young agent and you're in one of these markets, you could do a lot worse than follow this guy's model. And this is the model for success. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to be hard, but this is the one. This is the way to win every time. Now, you say, John, what if you were competing with him? Well, I'm not. There's never going to be a time where I'm competing with him. I'm not going to be in New York. I'm not going to be in California. So I don't ever have to worry about it. And if he comes to St. Louis and pulls the rock star theme, go for it. That's one thing that it's hard to, as a young agent, it's hard to understand. But you have good years and you have bad years. There's always business out there. If you didn't get one listing, you may get another. You can never be too big for the marketplace as an agent. Now, corporate purchases of single-family homes is a dangerous path that we're walking down. But I can only sound the alarm so often. It doesn't seem like anybody's really coming with me on that one. So we'll leave it at that. But anyway, This sticks out. Keep this in mind. This is the way to do it. If I ever get to a spot where, money comes in a little easier, don't be surprised if this model is the one we go with. That's where I'm at. So anyway, I spent some time on this. I hope you understand. I hope you understand why. If you're a real estate agent or real estate broker, I think you may have a better insight into this. If you're just general public or something, hey, here it is. Wanted to go over Google Trends today. I don't know what happened yesterday. Let's just stick with yesterday. But yesterday there was no searches. Now, it's hard for me to believe that on a Thursday in the entire United States, nothing was going well enough to have articles about. So let's go over it. So Amazon stock, that's 500,000. That's nothing. Nothing. Real Madrid, 200,000. Always surprised by the ability for soccer to get a decent amount of searches. Snap stock. I hate Snapchat. I think it's terrible, and I feel absolute sadness for what it's doing to children. Moonfall is apparently a movie, and I don't really care. I watched The Expanse, and I'm looking for something like that. I don't know that anything like that exists. Nathan Chen, I don't know anything about him. And it says kicks off redemptive Beijing Olympics. I don't know. I'm not all that hyped about the Beijing Olympics. I'm just going to be putting that out there. Pro Bowl 2022, I don't really know that matters. Lakers versus Clippers. We're in St. Louis. Not a big basketball fan because we don't have a team. Murderville. I don't know anything about that. Ohio weather snow emergency levels. Yeah. Cameroon versus Egypt. Again. Soccer. In the top 10. 2 in the top 10 today. Johnny Weir. Doug Peterson is going to be the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. A sporting reference. Syria. I will go on record as saying I am anti-war. I am tired of lobbing missiles at people, and I don't care how horrible they are. I feel like the United States needs to really, really come back in its own house and figure out, how messed up are things and what are we going to do to fix them. Kim Cattrall, don't care. Trey Young was a very good basketball player. I believe he played at Oklahoma. And if you're smart, you don't confuse Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. But I don't remember where he played. I thought it was Oklahoma. Just Jeffrey Paschal. I was going to look that up, but he kidnapped his fiance. That's not good. Raised by Wolves, got no idea. Celtics, don't care. Keanu Reeves, 50,000 searches. That seems to me like, who wouldn't search Keanu Reeves? That guy's got something about him too. He'd be good in real estate. Reacher, I got nothing. So there was just nothing there, and I'm putting it out there for you because now you know. Now you know there's nothing. Let's go look at some real estate. Tampa Bay, Tampa, Florida. Very exciting. Now what we're going to do is something a little different. We got a new construction at the top. 2 different buildings. I don't personally care about new construction. We got this home here listed by Compass, Florida. We got Tony Everett Company listing this house here. Okay. And then we've got this house. But I really want to see this house. I really want to see this house. 8.9 million. So I just like the picture so far. So it's 28,000 square feet. And if you know me, you know that I love square footage. So what we're going to do is, I don't know. We know that these zip codes are not near each other. Like they're not in the same zip code. So we really can't do a lot of price comparison, but let's look at this house. Okay. And we'll go new tab today. And let's just see. So we got $12 million. There's 100 pictures. You know I'm not looking at 100 pictures. 240 days on the market. Built in 2018. 4-car garage. Let's just look at the property history. Sold in 2013. Listed in 2021 for 14 million. We're down to 12. I'm not looking at 100 pictures. Let's see about the details. Too much. Not going to read that. Let's just take a look. So I like the first. I like this. This is fine. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, can we get inside? There we go. Thank you. Thank you. 6 pictures in. We're in the front. We're coming right through the front door. Thank you. I don't mind baby pictures, but there's a lot of them there. That's off to the side there. I can tell. I kind of can tell where I'm at in the house. There's the front door. Now I'm in this side thing. There's the kitchen. It's big. It's airy. I'm good with that. You know what I'm afraid of as I've gotten older is like steps in a kitchen. You know that like that one step to get up to I mean, it's severely dangerous. I wanted to go over since we're here. I liked a tweet on my Twitter. Why do we think of these big hoods as status symbols in the United States? Oven hoods. What is that about? The lady wrote that, and I liked it because I really don't understand it either, but it's a big deal. So this, I mean, that's nice. It's got a theme to it. It's very comfortable looking. I mean, you know, these types of homes invoke the question, you know, what if we had all the money in the world, you know, what would we do with our home? How would we design it? How would it look? You know, and this is beautiful. Just beautiful. Very well done. So good. I'm not going to look at any more pictures of this. It's too many, and I'm not that interested in the house. We got one for 10.6 million, 6 bedrooms, 6.5 baths, 7,000 square feet. Or we have one for 10.5 million, 5 bedrooms, 7.5 baths, and almost a 3/4 acre lot. We're going to look at this one because it's bigger. So we got 48 pictures, which, as you know, I'm a fan of, but it's been on the market for 721 days. Okay, that's a lot. I mean, it was last listed in 2019, and it's 2022. Gosh, that's a lot. The first line, customized to perfection, the elegance and grandeur of this beach park estate combines superior craftsmanship that reflects impeccable taste and sophisticated architectural details. Let me ask you something. Do you think that agents write listing descriptions for the seller of the home's ego or to actually sell the home? I know what I do. But I'm not sure that that works in higher end properties. These people have egos that need to be stroked constantly. And I'm not good at that. It's not one of my I'm not naturally good at that. What do we got? Okay, so we're decided not to go through the front door. We're just going to show up here. What do you think about the high ceilings? I'm asking because it's a sign of grandeur, of opulence. But God, it's a lot of wasted space. I'm just putting it out there. Nice. But see, look at that oven hood. Now that I've seen that text, or now that I've seen that, I'm gonna keep going back to it. Look at the size of that oven hood. You know, I'm not complaining, but This is 2009, and we've just moved so far from this look in a home. So fast. Beautiful bathroom. If that's carpet, though, yuck. It's not. Doesn't look like it. I'm not criticizing. What do you think of these sinks? I've always been kind of, they have them at Lowe's in the bathrooms, and I've always been kind of suspect. I don't know. So there's that, below is that room I was talking about with the high ceiling, and it's like, ooh. I don't think, just so you know, I don't think it's a requirement. I don't think it should be a requirement that you show every single detail of a home in a high-end listing. I think you still make it so that people are significantly intrigued to come to view it. Okay, one more. And then we're done. $8.9 million, 10 bedrooms, 10.5 baths, 28,000 square feet on a 6-acre lot. This is my house, in theory. Been on the market 130 days, only a 5-car garage. That's a little disappointing. It was sold in 2014, listed in 2020, hasn't sold yet. I mean, it's a tough, I get it. A private gated entrance welcomes you to this one-of-a-kind estate in Tampa's premier private gated country club community of a villa. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. Perfectly positioned for the ultimate in privacy and exclusivity on just under 6 manicured acres overlooking the golf course. Kind of don't like that. You know, I'm not a fan of the golf course. Pond and conservation area featuring impeccable attention to detail inside and out, with a main house, guest house, 10 bedrooms, 10 full baths, 3 half baths, and boasting over 28,000 masterfully crafted square feet, including a 2,620 square foot guest house. Okay, so did they add that to the square footage? Yes, it looks that way. So let's just, here's the house, I guess, the guest house. Let's take a look at this. So there's the pool. I mean, there's the pool house. There's, I suspect, the front door, but I could be, I mean, look at that. Look at that. I mean, that's what I would have done. That's the front door. I would have had a picture to start coming this way and then one going this way. There's the oven hood, but it's really right here. It's not this whole thing. I mean, look at that. And this is one of the nicest houses. Let's be honest. And for $9 million, this is one of the nicest houses we've seen. Look at the size of the bedroom. I mean, it's going to be real hard to, like, okay, maybe they could have had more cars, but gosh, this is a beautiful home. I mean, I hate the golf course. Don't get me wrong, but just fantastic. So I know this sounds weird, but does it have an elevator? If it does, why don't we have a picture of it? What does the garage look like? You know, these are things I'd be interested in knowing. But there's some things about that house that is like a one of a kind house that is pretty awesome. Now we don't even know what's in the guest house. The 2,800 square foot guest house is twice the size of my home. Sorry, I needed to stretch. Ooh. Ooh. Expect that. All right. Let's get to some articles. It says mortgage rates just spiked the most in 9 years, and that should slow down the home price growth. Honestly, just from speaking to you directly, I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this home price growth acceleration in my career. We've never looked at it like that. We've always looked at it like, hey, houses are a little more expensive this year. For the home price growth to be on a percentage basis so high is kind of causing it to be its own level of interest that I don't think is going to work the same way when we have home price deceleration. That would be houses that are going for less than they would have gone. I guess. I don't know. It's very fascinating. It says Fed Chair Jerome Powell made it clear while speaking to Congress earlier this month that taming stubbornly high inflation will require the U.S. central bank to both halt its asset purchase programs and raise rates multiple times in 2022. That policy shift is already being felt by home shoppers. On Wednesday, the Mortgage Bankers Association reported the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate has climbed to 3.64, up from 3.11 in December. That marks the largest one-month jump in mortgage rates since 2013. So here's how this works. So just look at the numbers. It says a borrower who takes out $400,000 mortgage at a 30-year fixed rate of 3.11% would owe $1,710 monthly payment. At 3.64, that payment jumps to $1,827, or an additional $42,000 over 3 decades. Now, as an agent, what can I tell you about this, and how can we do this? How can we swing this? We have to bring more cash to the table to close. That's it. That's what you do. If mortgage rates are going up and you still want to be in the home buying marketplace, you need to bring more cash to the table. Now, if you don't have any cash, that's going to be a problem. But I mean, if you're in the position to buy a home, or you're trying to get into a position to buy a home, raise cash. Raise cash. You're going to be good. Try it. Don't worry about the interest rates too much. Like, don't say because rates went from 3.11 to 3.6, 3.64, I can't buy a house now. You can. They're still very, very low rates. You just need to raise cash. The mortgage rate spike comes as the housing market is amid one of its hottest stretches in tabulated history, with U.S. home prices notching a 19% jump in the most recent 12-month window. Leading real estate companies like Fannie Mae, Redfin, and the Mortgage Bankers Association all produce forecast models that predict home price growth will decelerate in 2022 as mortgage rates rise. However, they don't agree on the final numbers. And really, who does? It's like throwing darts at a dartboard. The key on this article is this. It says the impact of rising interest rates depends on where they land. If mortgage rates approach 4% before the end of the year, there will be a notable downshift in housing demand. If mortgage interest rates gradually rise throughout the year, allowing home sellers to price their homes accordingly, then the shock to the system will be less noticeable. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You must not know anything about human nature. If you think that sellers are going to price their homes less after they've been told that they've been in the hottest market in history, you're lying to yourself. The vast majority of home sellers have heard this, that this is the time to sell, this is the time to sell, for the past 3 years, maybe even longer. They feel like they are sitting pretty. They're in the best position. They don't pay attention to mortgage rates. They're like, they'll say, John, what do you think this house will sell for? I say, maybe about 400. They'll say, okay, let's list it for 450 then. That's how this works. And it's not really always about the money. It's about this perception. Like 400 is not as good as 450. Okay. So this will not happen. Mortgage interest rates gradually rise throughout the year, allowing home sellers to price their homes accordingly. Then the shock to the system will be less noticeable. Not going to happen. Let's see. I need to check something. Let's get into it. I was like, maybe we don't have enough time. I'll run long today. Let's just talk about it. Now, the source is the National Association of Realtors. Now, I am a real estate agent. I have membership in the National Association of Realtors. The National Association of Realtors has been around for 100 years. I am biased. I'm telling you my bias right now. Okay? Do not accuse me of being biased, because I am. Now, does that mean I can have an honest opinion about this? I will give you the opinion that I have. It may not be the popular decision, but I think that it's worth it. I think it's worth it. So let's get going. It says the National Association of Realtors today filed a lawsuit stating that Rex Real Estate Exchange has made false and misleading advertisements and statements about its services, thereby deceiving consumers and discouraging them from obtaining the pro-consumer, pro-competitive benefits provided by NAR members and independent local multiple listing services marketplace. Okay, that's the entrance. Now, number one, I have membership in the National Association of Realtors. I see people cutting at our margins all the time. Okay. I see National Association of Realtors at times do things that are ridiculous, as far as not fighting for its membership, not understanding the market that they're in, and really flailing wildly around, not focused on anything that would be beneficial to anyone. But they're being sued by the Department of Justice. Okay, they're being sued by this Rex. They are in like let's just assume there's a war, and they are on the front lines, and they're getting shot at every day. So I give them some pass as a member to this reality that they're in. It says NAR will oppose attempts to mislead consumers, including attempts to mislead consumers about buying or selling a home generally, or about the services or cost of using realtors, most of whom are small business people. So, am I a small business person? Yes. I have my own brokerage. All the work that I do in my brokerage is financed through my commission. My business does not grow without commissions in any way. Let me just check and make sure that no one came into the chat. Okay. It says, independent, local, multiple listing services benefit competition and fair housing, and NAR will ensure customers and consumers can make the choice to participate in local broker marketplaces or not, with a full understanding of how they work. The truth is that if home buyers and sellers are deceived into avoiding multiple listing services, they would lose the service's pro-consumer, pro-competitive benefits. Sellers lose exposure to the largest available pool of buyers, and buyers lose access to the largest available pool of properties for sale. Our goal with this action is to protect consumers. And so, I don't understand most of the lawsuits filed back and forth. It's based on technicalities that I'm just not sharp enough to be able to discuss. But what I would say is this: people want to join the multiple listing services and then don't want to give any benefits to the service. Like, we pay money to be part of the service, and then people want to act like they should just be able to join and then not follow the rules. that are established for all of us. It's very odd. And in 2022, if you wanted to list your house for sale by owner, you could certainly go on Zillow and get as much exposure on Zillow than you would anywhere else. So, I mean, the National Association is competing against other listings providers in the marketplace. I would say that's the way I see it. It says, and I don't know why you would not want to be part of the MLS if you did have an agent. That's the part that's very strange. As set forth in NAR's complaint, REX misleads consumers by falsely advertising that sellers will receive greater proceeds because in a REX transaction, sellers don't pay commissions to the buyer's broker. And the fact is, and according to NAR, is REX has admitted that, as is customary in the industry, when a home buyer is represented by an agent, REX's seller clients may pay buyer agent commissions. So, I mean, that seems like a problem. Falsely claiming that it developed innovative and superior technology that can proactively identify the perfect buyer for a seller's property using artificial intelligence and data analytics, allowing it to offer lower commissions. And the fact is that, according to NAR, REX has admitted it relies on Zillow's website to display its listings and that believes it needs access to aggregators like Zillow to compete effectively. In other words, the viability of REX's business hinges on its ability to access and use proprietary technology that was built by Zillow on the exact terms that REX wants. Falsely advertising that the National Association of Realtors has enacted a series of anti-competitive policies, including making agent commissions non-negotiable to brokers who want to put their listings on the MLS to prevent competitors from offering consumers lower transaction fees. In fact, according to NAR, the rules in multiple listing service policies have always allowed negotiations between a listing broker and a cooperating broker at any time during the transaction. NAR rules expressly authorize the listing broker and cooperating broker to come to an agreement to change cooperative compensation, and that can happen before a property is shown, after a showing, or even after an offer is accepted. I do think, okay, as biased as I am, I do think the National Association of Realtors does look out for consumers. I think that they have an understanding based over 100 years of a track record. They understand where consumers get ripped off in the process. If you want to sell your house for sale by owner and not have any agents involved, that's on you. But if you want to sell your house with an agent, then you can negotiate your commission with the agent, but don't expect for people to do things for free. It doesn't seem that difficult to me. People assume like, hey, we want to sell everything for free. We don't want to pay realtors for their work. And it's like, I work a lot. And it's a lot of hours that I really don't get paid for unless I close on a house. So how is that any different than someone who makes cereal? Do the ingredients in the cereal, do the workers that work for the cereal company, do they not deserve compensation because you want cheaper cereal? I mean, it doesn't make sense. It has never made sense to me. For example, in the United States, there are places you can go, not many, and you can pay to negotiate your services for a surgery. Okay, flat fee and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not done very often. And it's not done for zero. That's the issue. Is this there's a misunderstanding of costs incurred by real estate brokerages. Like a severe misunderstanding. And for some reason it's allowed in other industries. Like it's okay. Like when you go get your car fixed, okay? Somebody may say it's going to cost this much and you take it to a different dealer and it costs less, a different repair shop. That's no different than the real estate market. In my opinion. Am I stepping out of bounds by saying that? I don't know. I hope not. But you have to draw the line. If there's capital investment in an industry, it has to be compensated somehow. I mean, who built the MLS? Who built all this stuff? Who pays for it? It's a very strange thing. And then, you know, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Good for NAR for sticking up for itself. Man, they've been getting trashed left and right. I think unfairly so. They need to do a better job of educating the public about the real estate game. Because it's a game like every other game. Everything you do is a game. If you look up game theory, I think it's Eric Berg who wrote the book. It's like they call it transactional theory or something. But anyway, there's game theory and then there's transactional theory. And I'm talking about transactional theory, but the idea is that everyone's playing a game all the time. So anyway, I'll leave it there. I can't. This is such a complex issue that I don't think I can do it justice at this time. Maybe if I get better with my delivery, I will get better at it. But right now, this is as far as I'm going to take it. Good for NAR. Finally, stand up for yourself and really go on offense. I mean, attack. That's good. Okay. With that, I'm going to head out. Thank you for watching. The hour went by fast this morning. And yeah, that's where I'm at. Thank you for watching. I will catch you tomorrow.